Hello, my name is Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me whenever you're joining me. I appreciate you for stopping by. Hopefully you wait until the end before you get rid of the video. Or you share it with people, because that's always good. Sharing is caring, people. Okay, so today I want to answer a question, and here it is. Basically, it's if you're a new hire and within the first 3 months, you know that you don't like this job, it's not for you, it's not a good fit, do you continue with the job and wait a year until you move, or do you just leave then and then possibly become like a job hopper or something like that? So straight up, let me just kind of dive into this. Basically, I've been in that position before I was in tech, and then also while I was in tech, I had the same kind of occurrences happening. And I'm the kind of person, after I've been there for 2 months or so, I'm like, all right, I see what's going down here. And then sometimes I'm like, this is not for me, or this is not what I thought it was going to be, or whatever the case may be. The first time this happened to me, it was before I got into the tech industry, and I was working at, pretty sure y'all heard me talk about it before, a life insurance company. If you haven't, go back and watch those videos. They're pretty good. But anyways, I was working at a life insurance company, and basically I kind of started training with a coworker, and it was probably about a month into that, and I was like, nope, this is not what I thought this job was going to be like. So I was a little frustrated initially, and that might be kind of what you're feeling. You may be a little frustrated, you may be annoyed, but either way, at the time, I was still going on job interviews. I had yet to get into the tech industry, and this is before coding bootcamp. This is kind of in between that after college and then before coding bootcamp stage. And so literally, I was just like, I want to work in tech, and this is not it. It was basically just looking at reports and stuff. There's a video about it. Go back, check it out. I just wasn't excited about it. I was just like, this probably isn't going to work for me long term, but all right, I'll stay here until maybe something else comes along. So I did interviews while I was there. And then after probably about 6 to 8 months, I literally was like, you know what? I'm done. Like I can't get a job in tech because I don't have the experience in tech. So I was like, let me just be here. So I was just there. So that's kind of how it worked out. Literally, I was just like, okay, well, this is where we're at right now. So this is what's going to happen. And to be quite honest, like I said, it was months before I got to the point of nothing else is happening outside of this job. Let me just stay at this job. And so it was not an easy decision to make. I started to find myself getting a little bit more away from applying to jobs and more so just trying to be present. And at that job, it was a great job. While I was there, I was able to meet some new people and really get to know my coworkers. And so I felt like this was kind of like the first time. I had one job before that, and I didn't really care about that job, but I got laid off, so it didn't really matter. But for this one, it was like the first one where I had really a choice to kind of stay, and I decided to go ahead and just stop applying and just start applying to the work that I was doing, really being present and, like I said, getting to know the people I was around and having random conversations with those people. And so I think that's important. So that's one thing you should think about, as well as when you're trying to figure out, do you want to stay here? I haven't been here long and I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know if I should leave or should I stay, blah, blah, blah. And to be quite honest, I'm not going to have the real answer to that. I don't know. That's your life. But what I can do is what I'm doing now is providing a little bit of insight. But I think it really depends on kind of where you want to go and if staying at that job would help you in some kind of way. And for me, it was just kind of building relationships. And so that's what I did while I was there. So I ended up doing that. So it could differ. The second time around that I had this inkling of this is not the job for me was after coding boot camp. It was my first job at a coding boot camp. It was not a coding job, but it was the first job I got back into the job industry after being at the coding boot camp. Honestly, it was, I don't understand kind of exactly why I was hired. I think they just liked my coding experience and thought maybe it would be helpful. It wasn't too helpful, to be quite honest, because it was a lot of answering the phones and stuff like that. So some of that stuff, like that's not going to help me. And strangely enough, I'm one of those people that have never had a job where I answer the phone. So it was like the first job that I did customer service type stuff, and it was just interesting as far as like over the phone. So anyways, I was at that job for, I don't know how long. It may have been a month or so before I realized, no, this is not the environment I want to be in. And for that position, it had more so to do with management and the fact that there's a little bit of micromanaging happening, and I just was not here for that. So I was like, all right, I need to do something because this is not going to work long term. But the hours were very strict, and it was really difficult to find work while I was there. So at that point, I was at the mercy of people that I knew and in order to find other opportunities, because there was nothing happening outside of that I could actually, go through the motions of getting interviews and doing the interviews. It just wasn't working out with the schedule. So I'm not gonna lie, I walked out of that job. Like, I literally walked away from that job. And it wasn't like I just left and never came back. It was more so like me, taking my stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go now. I may have told you this story before. If I have not, I'll go back and look if I have. If not, I'll tell you the story in another video. But literally, I decided at a point, I was like, this is not going to be a good fit for me. And I was trying to stay on there for a year, but it ended up not working out that way. So after that, I went on to teaching. And so that was a little bit better for me, more flexible schedule. And I was able to kind of put stuff together how I wanted to. But honestly, it was that moment of like being there and realizing that this is not what you thought it was going to be is very frustrating. And so literally, every time in these situations, I'm having to like, should I stay here? Should I leave? Do I really want to be here? What can I learn while I am here so that I could be better at the next place that I'm at? Because you don't want to just leave without actually gaining any knowledge. If the place is toxic, you can't learn anything from them. They're not willing to learn from you. You're putting in so much work, and yet you're not receiving anything from that. Whether it's like, hey, my compensation isn't right, and I should be getting more money, but I am not getting more money because of X, Y, and Z in relation to this company. So if there's stuff like that where you're just like, I don't know if I can deal with this, give it a little bit of time. Don't automatically just give up and say, I'm not gonna do this anymore. No, give it some time. I'd say give it at least 6 months, a good solid 6 months, and then reevaluate. And if you're anything like myself, you are constantly reevaluating that job. And it could be every month, it could be every week, it could be every 3 months, whatever that looks like for you. Reevaluate that job and really understand what you want from it. Can they provide that for you? And if not, what place can? And look into those options and really research that information and see if you can find anybody who works there. It goes back to the networking thing. So you ask those questions, and that's how you kind of get to a groove of like, okay, what do I really want in a company? What do I want them to do for me so that I can do better for them, or whatever the case may be. And so that's what it really boils down to. My last instance of when I did not like my job was actually at a developer job. So it was the job before the one I have now. And literally I got there and I'm thinking it's going to be great. We're supposed to be building in Laravel. We're supposed to be literally like scrapping this old thing and make it into a new thing. And I'm going to be learning new parts of things and very excited. And it was a few months in and I realized that was not happening. So I want to do a video on more of like the differences between like a corporate job and a non-corporate job, and so like a bigger company and a smaller company. So if you're interested in that, you know, stay tuned, because I'm definitely going to do that video. But that was kind of one of the things, is that, you know, politics. So at the end of the day, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be right, because I'm not really doing anything. I'm not really learning anything. Everything I'm learning is like older, and I'm like, can I apply this to a new job in the future? I don't know. Will I be able to pick any skills up? But I said I'll stay for a year. And so I went down that path of staying there for a year. Did I make it for a year? No, because I got another job. But it wasn't because I was out there like putting my resume out. So it's one of those things that networking definitely helps you. And I can't stress that enough with anything that I talk about on this channel, but it is what it is. Either you take it or you don't. And then those that do, yay. And those that don't, nay. Or just get better so you could say yay. One of those things. In conclusion, basically just stay with it, and have those lists of things that you want from a job. I've talked about it in other videos, but just make sure that you know what you're looking for, so that when you are at this job, you can be like, but don't give up so quickly. I guess that is in conclusion. So in the beginning of this, or somewhere along in the middle, I said, I don't have a really a answer for you, but you know, I guess I do have an answer for you. And the answer is, don't give up right away. Put some effort into that job and really see if it's going to work for you. And the only way you know it's going to work for you is if you spend some time there. So spend a little time, and then who knows, before you know, you might look up and realize it's been a year, and you're like, whoa, I didn't really realize it. And in other instances, you'll be like, oh man, this is dragging on. I don't like this. This isn't fun. I don't want to be here, whatever the case may be. And then you evaluate those feelings, and you assess them, and you really figure out where you can go that's going to fulfill the things that you're not getting where you're at currently. So wait it out. Give it at least 3 to 6 months, and then constantly evaluate how you're doing. I'd say you could reevaluate every month. That was good. My other job, I evaluated like every week. I'm like, what temperature am I at? Do I really like it here? And so it might be good to do that. And it might be something to write down, like jot down and take notes about, just so you can keep record of it. Hey, in March, I was feeling pretty good. Was it because it was spring? I don't know, you know. In December, I was feeling pretty crappy. You know, was it because we didn't get a break and I was tired? You know, so evaluate those things and kind of see how you go from there. But anyways, I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions any more about this, or you want to discuss any more about this, please be in the comments below, and, you know, we can discuss it there. As always, I always ask you, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and make today a great day, and be great, be awesome, and you're awesome. So it's okay. Don't give up. You got this. See you guys in another video.